Good evening and welcome in to the Wire Sports Show. To the right of your screen is Pops back in effect. Appreciate you joining us, getting back onto the show, Pops. Missed you last week. But yes, on the right of your screen is Pops and I am QMP. We are your favorite father-son duo talking sports. And in today's show, we going all across the sports world, y'all. So I'm not gonna go into detail about what we're gonna talk about, but we just gonna get into it. You ready to talk to the people, Pops?
One more time.
All right, Pops.
Really
It looks
ready to
like
get into the show, and let's
there we
do
go.
this.
All right, there we go. You were muted a little bit, but it's okay. We good. All right, Pops, let's talk to the people. So, first up, y'all. First up, for those of y'all who don't know, LeBron James is now a Philadelphia 76er. Now, last time I checked, Pops, both you and I thought that he was gonna go to Cleveland, right?
Right.
We both thought he was gonna go to Cleveland. I mean, turns out we were both wrong. I mean, Philadelphia was one of those possible teams he could have went to, but no one really expected that. We thought it was going to be his, final contract he was going to do. His farewell tour. Goodness, get it right. His farewell tour would be going back home to Cleveland. Obviously, not the case. Threw a curveball at all of us. Wound up picking Philadelphia. So, Pops, your thoughts on LeBron James becoming a Philadelphia 76er?
Well, just like you said, we was kind of shocked about that first of all. But I will say this: I think he looked at the amount of talent that the 76ers had, and I think he possibly was going to do that anyway. But he kind of wanted to make sure that he got everything right. So I believe because he saw the amount of talent that they had, and he could possibly win another championship, well, then that's why he chose to go there. But I hope he don't wind up staying too long and be on a walker and get on out of the thing before it's too late.
Well, listen, I'm there with you, and I mean, really and truly, he has defied Father Time, honestly, because no one expected him to be good, with such consistency. You know what I mean? It's not like he's, like Joe Namath going to the Rams or other stars that went to other teams that were past their prime. It's not like that. Any team he's gone to, he's played well. So I remember hearing somebody talk about this, and I'm like, this is not what this is. It's not Joe Namath playing with the Rams. It's not Tony Dorsett going to the Broncos. It's not that at all. It's you know him picking another squad where he thinks he can win. And I'm excited to see it, really and truly, because again, it threw both of us for a loop, Pops. We neither one of us expected it, but he's there. He's now Philadelphia 76er and yet another fan base that he's gonna have to please. And as we know, the same fan base that booed Santa Claus, Pops. So, you know, he's one of this fan base and they got a lot of expectations, as you know, Pops. So we're gonna see how this turns out. But we're gonna go on to this next clip, staying kind of on this same topic here. This is what the new look 76ers starting lineup is gonna be. So as you'll see pictures there, it's gonna be Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, the newly acquired Jalen Brown from the Boston Celtics, of course, LeBron James, and you know who that is there, my man Joel Embiid. Now, my man Quincy, appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the comment. Quincy is saying if he gets at least a ring, he will be considered the GOAT. Well, listen, man, we going I think we gonna say that for another show because that's a juicy topic there, man. That is a very juicy topic, and I know Charles Barkley kind of mentioned something of that nature on the show here within the last week or so, and he mentioned that. So we're gonna see. Now it is a possibility. He's already in the conversation, as we both know, Pops. LeBron James is already in the GOAT conversation. Is he, at the top of the list right now? Well, some will say yes. Some will say no. You know where I stand with it. And of
Yeah.
course, I know where you stand with it as far as who is the GOAT in our eyes. But, we'll see. Quincy, you might be onto something. Maybe he is considered the GOAT if he does win in Philly. We'll see. We shall see. Now, along those same lines, I want to go over something with y'all real quick as far as the odds, right? So the odds before LeBron James joined the Philadelphia 76ers, the odds for the 76ers to win a championship were at 20-1. When he signed with the 76ers, that went down to half to 10-1. Some even have 9-1. So, Pops, do you think that the 76ers are going to be uh, in the championship game, or what do you think as far as do you think they're going to you first of all, do you think they're going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals? And then on top of that, do you think they're going to win the championship with this lineup in place? And before you go, Pops, got another comment from Quincy saying, no, it was a question, not an answer. My bad, brother. My bad. I'm sorry. My bad. But I will say, to answer your question, Quincy, I would say he would not be still, he would still not be considered the GOAT in my eyes. Now, Pops, I'll let you answer that question as well. Do you think LeBron James will be considered the GOAT if he wins the championship with the 76ers?
No, no. Because like I said, say you add those championships up, and then let's if he get two, then there may be something different to do. But like I said, say again, right now, it's still he's in the mix, but he's not going to be the actual GOAT because we know who that is, and I got to hold up the rings, now. I got to hold them up. So that's my opinion.
That's how it is, Pops. Like I said, we both, and we just gonna come out there with it. If y'all haven't been watching the show, y'all tuning in for the first time, and QOC Network Queens of Conversation just said it, and we're gonna look at that comment right now. She said Jordan. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's where we are with it. We feel like MJ is the GOAT. That's where we stand with it. That's what it is. So, Quincy, to answer your question, brother, nah, man, MJ still the GOAT, brother. MJ is still the GOAT. So, just saying. And y'all, before we go any further, don't forget to be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We're on all the platforms, y'all. Just don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We appreciate all the support. We appreciate all the love, all the comments and everything. But yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So, moving on, Pops. We're gonna go into the WNBA. Okay, we're gonna go into the WNBA. Now, they just had their All-Star weekend, their skills competition, all those good things, All-Star game, all that good stuff. The WNBA is growing, as you well know, Pops. Well, just like the NBA does with their commissioner, Adam Silver does his, address to the media. Well, the WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, did the same thing. And she says, and you'll see in this clip here, the racism, the misogyny, the homophobia, the harassment, and threats directed to our players has no place in sport or anywhere else. And again, this is Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA commissioner, who said these comments. Now, on top of that, there's a few things that have been going on in the WNBA. As I said, Pops, it has grown exponentially. The WNBA has grown exponentially under her watch. Your thoughts on her comments in general, and then we'll go a bit further into this as well about the WNBA in general.
Well, I will say this that basically in any sports there will be racial type slurs or stuff like that or whatever that people will always have their own opinion about stuff like that. And sometimes you have to take the high road to certain things like that because they're going to be there. And I hate to say it like this is not actually the topic, but even in soccer you have that. But going back to the WNBA and even like you said with the NBA, you're going to have that. And so the players, they need to know that. And I think they may have a class or something to talk about certain things like that. But I'm glad she came out and said that so people will be aware that it has not left and it is something that they need to always address.
It's good. Now, before we go any further, we have another comment from Quincy. Going back to LeBron conversation, he was saying, I agree, and I hate seeing people online trying to downplay MJ. to make Brian look great. MJ is my GOAT, and Brian is not even close. My man. My man. Appreciate that, Quincy. That's true, brother. That's how me and Pops feel. Straight up. That's how me and Pops feel. No doubt about that. Appreciate that comment, brother. But as I was gonna say, Pops, there it seems like there's been a lot more of these things going on in the WNBA this year than it has been before. Um, and I think that's a part of its overall growth in general because there's more eyes on their game now, with them having much more popular players such as Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, players of that ilk, Aaliyah Boston, those type of players. And so again, more eyeballs in the game means you're gonna have some of this stuff happening, right? So, right, as you said, there is no place in sport or anywhere else for this type of behavior whatsoever. So the hope is that they can quell this and that it doesn't, become an even bigger situation. Yo, Brandon, my man, what's up, brother? Appreciate you tuning in, my man. I was waiting for your comment, dog. Appreciate you tuning in, my man. But as I said, y'all, hopefully it gets better for the WNBA. Again, there are more eyes on the sport. It's way more popular. And so the hope is that, this stuff stops.
Right.
Again, we want to see the WNBA grow continuously because at one point, Pops, as you know, it was like no one's paying attention, blah blah blah. But now it's super popular. It's getting to be more and more popular, and yeah, there's no place for any of that. The racism, the misogyny, homophobia, the harassment, and the threats in general towards the players, it's just got to stop. Bottom line. Any more thoughts on that, Pops?
Well, I will say this: you can always have them haters. No matter what you do, you can. That's just part of it. So you have to be grown enough and strong enough to go ahead and do what you got to do and move on with your business.
Yep. I agree, Pops. So we gonna move on to another WNBA topic, and we got a comment from Brandon. Another comment from Brandon. He's saying the racism is taken away from the game. Absolutely, brother. I completely agree. It's taken away from the absolute awesome popularity this sport is seeing at this given time. It's continuously growing, skyrocketing, man. And so yeah, it's no place for it at all. It's just hurting the game. I completely agree. Now, as I said, y'all, we're gonna keep on the WNBA. And the next topic, Pops, is, as you'll see, this is the starting lineup for the Indiana Fever. And the most popular, I'll say, one of the most popular, if not the most popular player in the sport, Caitlin Clark, as you'll see, is on the Indiana Fever. She's a hell of a player, Pops, as you well know. And again, this is their starting lineup. And they just played last night, and they won last night, and they are currently on a 4-game win streak, Pops. They're currently on a 4-game win streak, and they beat the Seattle Storm 105-95 last night. They set a record. They actually had their 4th straight 100-point game and 12th 100-point performance of the season, right? Freaking awesome. And so that 12th 100-point performance of the season set a new WNBA single season record. So my question to you, Pops, do you think that the Indiana Fever can make a run and make it all the way to the championship and win it all?
I think they make the playoffs, and streaks are made to be broken or whatever. But like I still say again, they have a strong enough team to make it to the playoffs. But I don't think they'll actually win it or whatever. But I'm just glad they're doing what they're doing because people love Caitlin Clark, and so again, I'll just see what they do with the streak they're on right now. But again, my main thing is they will make the playoffs. But any further than that, I'm kind of still up in the air on that.
Understood. Well, me personally, I think that they're gonna. From how they're playing now, seems like they're really gelling together. They're playing really, really, really well together. I can see them at least making it to the conference final. At least that. I don't see them going to the championship this year, but I at least see them getting to the conference finals. I at least see them getting there. Now, the main thing is Kayla Clark's got to be healthy, though. She's got to get healthy.
Right.
Yeah, the injury bug's been hitting her a little bit. Got another comment from Brandon. Seattle is the worst team in the WNBA. You're supposed to win. And no, Indiana is not getting by Minnesota Lynx with the healthy Olivia Miles. Right. Understood. We gonna see, brother. We gonna see. Like I said, Indiana's not just been playing well against teams they're supposed to play well against. They've just been playing well this season in general. Like I said, you just see them really gelling together. The team has really come together. There was a little rip between the coach and Caleb Clark early on, but no longer the case. So good stuff. Good stuff from the Indiana Fever. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out this season. I'm gonna be paying attention. I'm gonna be paying attention to the W, Pops. Any lasting thoughts on the Indiana Fever, Pops?
Well, like I said, say the main key is staying healthy, and if they know what they need to do, I think they can actually do this. But the key word is health, and so we'll see how that works out.
Understood. Understood. All right. So moving on, y'all. Moving on. We are going to the world of college sports. And my man, Mr. Michael Lombardi, gonna need you to step up to the stage here, sir. So, in recent news, the University of North Carolina has placed GM Michael Lombardi on paid administrative leave effective immediately. Effective immediately. Now, Pops, as you know, Bill Belichick has been under scrutiny since he became head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels. You know, this gentleman actually said, these are his words, that the North Carolina Tar Heels are the 33rd NFL team. Those were his words. And then we saw how the season turned out to be this past year. And now this man is on paid administrative leave. Apparently, there was some sort of human resources complaint that was filed against him, and now he's on paid administrative leave. Your thoughts on this and just North Carolina football in general? We know basketball is cool, right? They've done pretty well. We know what happened to their coach, Hubert Davis. He's no longer there. They got Michael Malone now, but we're strictly focused on North Carolina Tar Heels football. Let me know your thoughts on this, Pops. What's happening here?
Well, my question is this: if Bill Belichick hadn't been there, would all this be said or whatever about him, or would it be a normal college football team? So a lot of this could be behind the scenes things going on. And again, I say, like I said, if Bill Belichick had not been there or been somewhere else or whatever, then it would have been a normal UNC football team. And I think it's some behind the scenes stuff that's going on. We'll find out later why all this he's been placed like he's been placed. So, what are your thoughts about that?
And before I go, Sydney, appreciate you tuning in, my man. Appreciate you, brother. What's going on, man? Thanks so much for the comment, my man. But my thoughts on it, Pops, is I really thought that it would turn out pretty well as far as Bill Belichick and his style and how he is in general, and how many people he had surrounding him to make this thing successful. Did I think it was going to be successful year one? Of course not. Of course not. But I did think that it would turn out much better than it has. That you would see some sort of growth. But if anything, you just seen issue after issue after issue after issue. So something's got to change here. Otherwise, Bill Belichick, your time may be up in North Carolina, brother. Just saying. So we're going to keep an eye on it, Pops, but it's just one thing after another with the North Carolina Tar Heels in general. They fired their head basketball coach, got another former pro coach as their head basketball coach, men's basketball coach. And now, again, this is happening. So we're going to see. We're going to see.
All right.
And then we're going to go on to another college team, the Michigan Wolverines. And my man, Ward Manuel, will be stepping down at the end of the calendar year. Now, as you know, Pops, several things going on with Ward Manuel, and not just not Ward Manuel, but the Michigan Wolverines in general, right? So with the Michigan Wolverines, there's been several things, whether it's Jim Harbaugh, who had a show cause penalty, like all these sanctions had against him and things of that nature because of improper recruiting and all these things, right? Then you have the situation with the coach that was the person that took over after him, who succeeded him, was Sharon Moore. Well, I don't need to go into detail about the situation with Sharon Moore, but things happened. Sharon Moore is no longer the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines football team. And there's other things that have happened. Dusty May, who national championship winning coach for their men's basketball team, left to go join the Dallas Mavs to be their head coach. And then you had other situations where you had assistant coaches on the football team that were ousted because of the situation they did, whether it's hacking in the computers and stealing photos, or doing illegal scouting tactics and all this stuff. This is all while this man has been at the helm as AD. Before you go, Pops, I just want to read a few things that are his perks that he's going to be receiving throughout his last year as the Michigan Wolverines athletic director. Again, he's leaving at the end of this year, right? So some of the things he's getting a $7.1 million payout. It's going to be scheduled within 21 days of his December 31st resignation. And $7.1 million payout. His salary is going to continue with regular monthly pay while continuing to work in a special advisory role through the end of 2026. Retirement fund, he's getting $108,000 from the university contributed, plus his full retiree health benefits, and he's getting legal coverage, $82,000 paid by the school for his attorney fees. So those are all things he's getting, whether it's during his last year being the AD, or during this final part of him being AD, and past that time frame. Your thoughts, Pops?
Well, the first thing I'm gonna clear up is this: is that when December the 31st gets here, I'll have my suitcases right by the door. When you just told me everything that he's getting, I would go out that door smiling like a rock. I'm telling you, because the simple fact of it is, you give me that much money. Because really, the last 2 to 5 years with Michigan, they have had problems. But with what you just said, December 31st, my suitcase would be by the door, but I'd have a limo waiting.
Right there. It's just wild how the situation turned out. With him being, having to resign. Not necessarily resign, but he met with the board of directors, or whatever their situation is, their board of regents or the board of directors, whatever the case may be, and they came out to this resolution saying, we're not going to fire you now. We're just going to let you finish up the rest of this year, finish out this year, and go from there. Hey, more Manuel, my man.
Hey,
seems like you got it made, brother. And not to mention, he's going to be part of the board, or part of the team that actually seeks out the new AD, the new athletic director. So, hey, my man, or Manuel, you got it made, brother. Well, hey, here's hoping whatever happens to you after this, he's probably going to be an AD somewhere else, or with the way he's got it made right now, with his package that he's going to be getting, he might just relax for a little while. So, just saying. But anyway, moving on, y'all. Now, y'all know for a fact that on this show, there's no way we're going to have this show without talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Okay? So, first up in our Dallas Cowboys segment, Pops, this quote came out of our starting quarterback's mouth, Dak Prescott's mouth. He said, "That's the one thing I love about the Cowboys nation and being a player of the Cowboys is the Super Bowl or bust." So, Pops, your thoughts on Dak Prescott saying this, and do you think he's gonna, eat his words, or he's gonna be able to, get us to that special game?
well, I told you for one thing that I know that they're going to be in the playoffs, and for him to actually come out and say that, and knowing also before he took the reins, as being the Cowboys quarterback. That's what we expect, and I think he's probably mature enough to say that now. And I really believe he can deliver on that. Now, like I said, still may say if you avoid injuries and all of that, and what we got going on right now, I believe this young man can not say totally young man, but still he can deliver on that because now he has experience and all of that, and all the things he's taken as being a quarterback. I think he can get us there.
So I mean, you already know how I feel about this pop.
Right.
At the end of the day, I'm am I okay with it talking? Yeah, yeah, maybe. But listen, you got to put up or shut up, man. Bottom line, you got to put up or shut up. And we got a comment from Brandon. Brandon is saying, I wish, he said, I wish they wouldn't do that because if they don't get there, it go become a bro moment. Yeah, hey, brother, I like what you did there. I like what you did there. That's right. If he don't get it done exactly, he gonna become a bro moment of the week. My man Brandon. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate that comment. So yeah, Pops, he's gonna get it done. Bottom line, he's got to get it done. Put up or shut up. Now, it's a nice little nugget of information here. So yesterday, apparently, there was a certain shirt that Dak was wearing yesterday. It was a 1995 Super Bowl champions, Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl champion shirt. Now, before we look at this comment from Quincy, I just want y'all to know something. He didn't put on that shirt just because he was just throwing on a shirt, right? He put on that shirt to help us understand that he's very aware, well aware of the last time we won a Super Bowl, the last time we went to an NFC Championship game. So it is on his mind, and I do appreciate the fact that he does truly embrace the history of the Dallas Cowboys and understands what the fans' expectations truly are, because that's what we're used to. People that watch them as you have pop 70s, 80s, 90s, you're used to seeing winning football. I mean, there were years where they were terrible, but you're used to overall them winning and getting it done. Bottom line. So he is aware, but again, is he going to be able to get it done? Time will tell. We're going to see. Let's get this comment from my man Quincy. Quincy says, that's why I only take the wait and see approach. My man, understood. See, realistic Cowboys fans, we don't sit up there and be like, yeah, Super Bowl, blah. Well, what? Why are we doing that? Only to be let down. It makes no sense. Just to make yourself look bad if you sit up there talking about Super Bowl and we wind up going 7-9-1. Then we look stupid. So yeah, it's best to be realistic. Just saying, it's best to be realistic. But again, most Cowboys fans, that's how they feel right there. That's why it's in yellow there. It's Super Bowl or bust. That's how unrealistic Cowboys fans are. Now, me and Pops, my man Quincy, my man Brandon, all realistic Cowboys fans. I appreciate y'all. All right, y'all. So next up, more Dallas Cowboys talk, okay? So training camp is underway, y'all. It started today. So football is definitely in the air. Jerry Jones had his State of the Cowboys address yesterday, which was some good stuff. That came through. And before I go into any further, gonna read this comment from Sydney. Sydney's talking about it's called faith, and faith is realistic. My man, look at you, brother. I heard that. I appreciate you, brother. So my man said he got faith that. So Sydney, let me ask you this: you say you got faith that we're gonna go to Super Bowl? Is that what you're saying, my man? I need you to answer that question. Do you got faith that we're going to Super Bowl? I need you to answer that for me, please. But as I said, y'all, more Cowboys talk. So as I said, training camp is now underway. It started today. Again, Jerry Jones had his State of the Cowboys address yesterday, along with Stephen Jones and some others were on during the press conference. And so with training camp getting underway, Pops, I want to ask you something. So we got a couple of interesting training camp battles that are going to be taking place, right? So one of them being left tackle, the other one being the secondary, right? So, as you heard me just say, I mentioned the left tackle position, right? So today, Brian Schottheimer, Shotty, as we call him, uh, had his press conference today, and he had some interesting things to say, Pops. So he says the projected offensive line starters are as follows: Tyler Guyton at left tackle, Tyler Smith at left guard, Cooper Beebe at center, Tyler Booker at right guard, and Terrence Steele at right tackle. So, Pops, as we've talked about before, there's this left tackle battle going on, and that's typically going to be between Mr. Tyler Guyton and Nate Thomas. Your thoughts? Your thoughts on who do you think is going to win that battle, left tackle battle, and then the secondary as well, which the secondary, Pops, that's between Deron Bland, Siobhan Revelle, and Kobe Durant. But let's start with the left tackle battle first.
Well, I would. Oh yeah, let me just get this other one other small thing. Faith is acting like a thing is so, in order that it's not so that it may be so. You got that? Yeah, faith is acting like so. Yeah, so
say that one more time for the people in the back that didn't hear you. Say it one more time.
I said faith is acting like a thing is so, even though it's not so, in order that it may be so. That's what I said.
I just want to make sure everybody heard that. Okay, appreciate that, Pop.
Yeah, so you got to have the faith that that's what it is. But anyway, going on back to the tackle, I'm gonna let your man start there. Guys, I'm gonna let him start and let him demote himself if that's what's gonna happen. So if he wants to prove that he's a man with the plan, so put it in his hand, okay? So I like what I got so far. We'll see what happens with that.
So just to make sure I'm on the same page. So are you saying Tyler Guyton is gonna win this battle?
Well, I would start him first, not say when during the starting of the season or whatever. I would let him be the man on that side right now, unless he gets injured or whatever, and let him, if he's going to get demoted, he's going to demote himself by his play.
Okay, I like that. I'm gonna go. The main thing is, Pops, if Tyler Guyton can stay healthy throughout camp, that's the most important thing. Because every camp he's had so far, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. And guess what? The best ability is availability. And so, how can he grow and learn and be the best he can be if he's always often injured? You got to get reps to get better. So, Tyler Guyton, we're charging you, brother. Stay on the field. Stay healthy. Get the reps that you need to be a better player. They spent a first round draft pick on you for a reason. So get it done. I'm wanting you to win. Now, Pops, me saying that, you know how I feel about Tyler Guyton.
Yeah.
So
yes,
I'm hoping that he gets it done. Seriously. Because the continuity of the offensive line, it hinges upon that. Because another thing I'm going to tell you that Brian Schottenheimer said, he said he plans to move Tyler Smith and Terrence Steele around to find combinations, and he's committed to playing the 5 best linemen. Well, I'm hoping that the 5 best linemen are the ones that I told you are supposed to be the projected starters. That would be great. That's what we need. And then be able to bring those other guys along, as you talked about the draft pick that we got for the O-line. Be that swing guy. Nate Thomas be that swing guy. To be there, though, when we go to those jumbo sets or whatever the case may be, to have that in our back pocket. Now, obviously, Pops, injuries do occur. But come on now, Tyler Guyton. Show us something, brother. Show us why you were drafted in the first round. You've shown flashes. Let's get it done. Let's get it done, brother. Bottom line. And then, as I mentioned, Pops, there's also the other battle, the secondary. You got Deron Bland, you got Kobe Durant, who was a newly signed free agent this offseason, and Siobhan Revelle, who I'm very high on because of the talent he possesses. And he was supposed to be a first round pick had it not been for his injury. But I spoke about this in last week's show when Prime was on, that I think Siobhan Revelle is going to do very well because of the coaching of Christian Parker. With his specialty being the secondary, I just think it's going to speak volumes for Siobhan Revelle's growth. But for you, Pops, What are your thoughts on the secondary battle? Who do you think is going to win between uh, Deron Bland, Kobe Durant, and Siobhan Ravel?
I think the thing I want to throw in there is kind of like a little tidbit. It's going to be that if DeBron Bland does not get more physical with his play, I think he can be replaced because this defense here has to be more physical. And he hasn't shown me that he can intercept the ball. That's fine, but the hitting ability, I got to see him do better than that because that's how this defense needs to play. I hate to say it like this, but the Seattle Seahawks showed me that if the Deron Bland cannot pick up on his physicality, he's got to be out of there, Doc.
Right here, Pops. And my other thing, though, Pops, not just physicality, but again, I say the best ability is availability. Well, my man, Deron Bland, you got to be healthy, brother. Now, I will say this is the first year that I can remember that there's nobody on the physically unable to perform list or the non-football injury list either going into the year. There's no one on those lists whatsoever, which is a great thing, a great thing going into training camp. Now, mind you, Brian Schottenheimer also said that this is going to be one of the more physical camps that he wants to see. So I don't know. Let's temper that though. I want to be physical, like you said, Pops, but we want to stay healthy too. We got a comment from Brandon. Brandon saying Bland needs to be a shutdown corner. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. That would be awesome if he could be even remotely as good as he was in that record-breaking year when he was getting all those pick sixes. That's what we want to see. That's what got him that big contract. Stay healthy, Deron Bland. Stay on the field. Get it done. And it could help him as well with Christian Parker. Again, Christian Parker, especially being the secondary, that could bode well for Deron Bland as well. His techniques and everything, it could bode well for everybody across the board. You know what I mean? But there's one other thing I wanted to share as well that Brian Schottenheimer mentioned during his press conference today. He spoke about the 11-player leadership council that was newly announced again during his press conference today. It includes 6 offensive players, 4 defensive players, and 1 special teams player. On offense, it's Dak Prescott, it is CeeDee Lamb, Javonte Williams, Jake Ferguson, Tyler Smith, and Tyler Booker, which is very interesting. Goodness gracious, Tyler Booker is a second-year player, and he is on the leadership council. That speaks volumes, Pops. Than being a second-year player and him being on the leadership council, that's awesome. And on defense, it's Quentin Williams, Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary, and Jalen Thompson, which that also speaks volumes because Jalen Thompson is a newly signed free agent. So that's big for him to already be considered a leader on the team like that. And then on special teams is Brian Anger, who was the punter. But just so it's understood, for this leadership council is designed to act as a crucial liaison between the coaching staff and the roster to motivate players and resolve internal issues throughout the season. So what do you think about that leadership council list that I gave you, Pops?
Well, I like the list. For one thing, I think in past years, the Cowboys have not had enough players that actually wanted to earn that star. And I don't know if they're still doing this or not, but I think that star on the side of the helmet are the people that don't want to be here. It don't need to be put on until they show they want to be here. So we need to have people in place to let them know, look, we have a reputation here in Dallas. And as far as all these championships, when y'all walk in the locker room or wherever you walk out there on the field, you see championships or whatever, even out there where they're training at or whatever. But those players there, I like the ability of them to be getting those other younger players up. And hopefully that'll work out during the season. And we'll see why they're going to be in the playoffs.
I'm there with you, Pops. And, at the end of the day, like I told you, the thing that spoke volumes to me is that Tyler Booker is on that leadership council and Jalen Thompson. Those 2 things, Tyler Booker being such a young player and him being part of that is great. It just speaks about how he's ingratiated himself as a player in the locker room, and just his play on the field speaks for itself as well. So it's looking like he's pretty good draft pick for us. Hopefully Tyler Guyton will be the same, but we shall see. Just read this comment from Brandon real quick. He said, "But Bland benefited from playing man coverage. It was easy to stand there and wait for the ball." Absolutely. But like I said, appreciate the comment, Brandon. But as I said, the main thing is the coaching of Christian Parker. Again, his specialty being the secondary. I think is going to help out not just the younger players, but also the vets as well. To really hone their technique and really just continuously grow their fundamental skills as well, to be a much better secondary unit in general. So that's going to do it for our Cowboys segment, y'all. Now we're going to go around the league. And first up, going around the NFL, my man Patrick Mahomes, Pops. Andy Reid came out and said that Patrick Mahomes, coming off a torn ACL, has been cleared to practice. I'm speechless. Your thoughts on this, Pop?
That may sound good with talk, but he still got to walk the walk. So, like I said, I wouldn't rush the boy back too soon because that could cause him to re-injure himself or whatever to cause a setback. And so we'll just have to wait and see. But I wouldn't rush him out there too soon because once he's gone down, I don't know who's going to be around, Doc. So we'll see.
Listen, Pops, as I told you before, I attribute this to like Adrian Peterson, how quickly he came back from his injury and how far medicine has advanced. And I think it is about how the player rehabs as well. If you really are trying to give back, and you're doing it the right way, we have seen players come back much sooner than we expect from these type of injuries. So we're going to see how it is, and hopefully they don't rush them back. But we both know, Pops, the Chiefs are going to go as far as Patrick Mahomes takes them. If he ain't starting at quarterback, you can do them just like that. They're going to disappear. If he's playing healthy, there he is. And he's playing like Patrick Mahomes, we know. But if he ain't the starting quarterback, they're going to be gone just like that. Just like that. Moving on. There's another quarterback, Mr. Daniel Jones of the Indianapolis Colts, has also been fully cleared from the torn Achilles he suffered in December. Pops, he just suffered this injury in December. And he's been fully cleared. And will be on the field for training camp this week. Your thoughts, Pops?
Well, I'm going to compare a little bit to this to the NBA. You have to really be careful about those heels or whatever like that because of the fact that can get re-injured, and you know what that does for you in the long run. But again, I think some of this may be, and it may be me just saying this, I hope it's not just to sell tickets and make people think that they're going to be there. So we'll see what happens with this because I hate for the young men to come back too soon, and the next time you know their career may be over. So we'll see what happens.
Understood. Now, it's the thing that baffles me, Pops. We talked about we're talking about Daniel Jones and how they played early on, as far as last year. They did very well last year as far as beginning of the season. And then it turns out Daniel Jones was playing injured and then eventually ended up having a torn Achilles. But it's crazy though that people are really kind of sleeping on the Colts. Like, I get he's coming off of an injury, but they have pretty much the same exact team coming back that they had last year. Not to mention, they got Sauce Gardner, who's coming off injury, mind you, but he's a premier corner that they traded 2 first-round picks to acquire. So my thing is, why is everybody just trying to sleep on the Colts? It's baffling. Before you go, Pops, I'm going to read this comment from Brandon. And Brandon is saying that Daniel Jones might be done if he can't scramble on that foot. Absolutely. So that's part of his game. Now, mind you, though, Brandon, the thing is, they're going to be cautious, just like our beloved Cowboys are with Dak. We see how he'll run that much. And the more you run, maybe the more risk of injury. So I'm just telling you, just be cautious because it's probably not going to want. They're probably going to be like, hey, let's let's put some bubble wrap around them. We're gonna put a bubble on them. We ain't gonna have them scramble that much. You're gonna just temper that a little bit. So just saying. But yeah, your thoughts, pops. Thank you for the comment, Brandon. But your thoughts, pops, on just people talking about the Colts, not real, just talking about them saying they might make the playoffs. It's just weird to me.
Well, like you said, they got so close last year until he went down. But I guess you could really throw in the idea if he stays healthy, yeah, they'll be there. But that's the only if that you have, if he stays healthy. So because they weren't that good until he came to them, and so I just believe that you really have to make sure when he steps back in there that he doesn't re-injure himself because they're going to have a good team, according to the fact, or shall I say, depending on the fact he does not get hurt.
It's gonna be interesting to see how they call games with him, at the helm. Uh, I'm intrigued to see it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to seeing how their offensive game plan is going to be with him coming off this injury. I really am. And then we're staying in the theme of quarterbacks, y'all. Next up, Mr. Jacoby Brissett, who had skipped most of the Arizona Cardinals team's offensive off-season, training program, as he requested a new deal, reached an agreement on a reworked $15.5 million guaranteed contract. Brissett was in the second year of a 2-year deal that was scheduled to pay him $4.88 million. Just $4.8 million in base salary. There were no new years added to the reworked deal, and he is still scheduled to become an unrestricted free agent after this season. So, Pops, what do you think about Jacoby Brissett getting his money?
What the thing about that is this: it's best for him to get that now because he's been like here, there, here, and everywhere, and he can play. But the thing of it is again is he's got to prove himself one more year or so. But he's got his money, so we'll see which way the thing goes, and who knows? He might still get some more money next year, but we have to see what he's gonna do on this 1 year money thing.
Now, the wild thing about this is that and the key about it is he's going to become an unrestricted free agent after this season. Now, mind you, they did draft Carson Beck out of Miami, so they may have somebody waiting in the wings, and I think he's really, honestly, and truly a bridge quarterback. Pop. They weren't going to sign him to this long deal or whatever, long-term deal. Why? When they're in transition, they got a new head coach. What are we doing? He's going to be a bridge quarterback, and I think, if anything, they may give Carson Beck a nod if Jacoby Brissett doesn't play well. But he did earn the right to get this because of how he played last year, so I will say that. So kudos to you for getting your bag, Mr. Brissett. We got a comment from Brandon. Brandon saying Jacoby Brissett needs to start playing like he's in the NFL because right now he's playing like, who is this guy? Yo, relax, Brandon. You relax, sir. Jacoby Brissett, you got your bag, brother. But like I said, you're a bridge. You're a bridge quarterback because you know what? I'm gonna say this right now, Pops. I think before the season ends, Carson Beck is gonna get an opportunity. He's gonna start some games. I'm saying it now. So they drafted out of Miami. Carson Beck's going to start some games for the Arizona Cardinals this year. QMP said it here at 6:49 p.m. July 29th, Wednesday, July 29th, y'all. Just saying. Carson Beck's going to start some games for the Arizona Cardinals this year. So,
hey,
by my word. All right, y'all. Moving on. Again, it's theme of quarterbacks, y'all. Theme is quarterbacks. I love this one. So, the 5 worst 2026 QB situations. Number 1, they got the Cleveland Browns. Number 2, the New York Jets. Number 3, the aforementioned Arizona Cardinals. Number 4, the Miami Dolphins. And number 5, the Atlanta Falcons. Pops, do you agree with this list of this being the 5 worst QB situations going into this coming season, sir?
The jury's still out on this, because these are other people's picks or whatever that they decided to do this. But again, the only way I'm gonna have to be able to judge this is as the season goes on, and then I'll know. But like I said, right now these are people's project other people that think what they think, and until you get on that field, sir, then this can sure flip. But like I said again, I'm gonna have to wait and see. It can flip itself as far as I'm concerned, and then we'll see what happens. 'Cause like I said, no one's played the game yet, so we'll see which way this goes.
Understood. Okay. For me, Pops, I mean, goodness, man, saying that the Browns have the number one worst QB situation. Wow.
Okay,
I mean, me personally, I would probably put the Cardinal.
let's see.
I would put the Cardinals number one. I would probably put the Jets two, the Dolphins three. No, 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 no. I'll put the Jets. I'll put the Jets one. Yeah, I'll put the Jets one, or maybe even put the Dolphins. Okay, fine. This is what I'm gonna do, y'all. I'll put the Dolphins one. Okay. I will put the Cardinals two, the Falcons third, the Jet. No, the Browns fourth, and then the Jets fifth. That's what I would do, honestly. And I do that because of the fact that Geno Smith is a proven quarterback in the league. You know what I mean? I doesn't speak to the other quarterbacks they have on their roster, but I'm saying Geno Smith is not no scrub. He's played pretty decent. You know what I mean? He was pretty decent with the Seattle Seahawks. I can't say that much for what he did with the Raiders, but that speaks more to what the Raiders had as a team compared to, who he is as a quarterback. And real quick, we're going to get this comment in from Brandon Pops. Brandon is saying Browns are in the right spot. They have not earned any money from getting Deshaun Watson. That is the worst trade in all of the NFL. Now, I agree with that being the worst trade for sure. But it's not like Deshaun Watson was some scrub or something, man. Like, he was once thought of as one of the top QBs in the league, and then we all know what happened. So I'm hoping that he can, get it together, but we shall see. We shall see. But good comment though, Brandon. I appreciate you, brother. All right, now Pops, we're gonna move on to the next topic, which is Mr. Kyle Shanahan was involved in a car accident on July 14th, Pops. July 14th. We found out about this accident this past Saturday. So apparently he got all kind of stuff, a broken nose, had to have 40 stitches, all broken ribs, and then he came out yesterday saying that the accident was his fault because you want to know what he did? Would you like to know what he did? So Pops, what he did was apparently he dropped his phone between the seats. He looked down to try to find his phone, and then the accident occurred. Your thoughts, Pop?
What I guess you really have to go ahead and believe what he did say, because these phones cause quite a few accidents because people either looking at them, or like he said, he dropped it down between the seat, or simple fact of it is you probably looking for it or whatever like that in a sense, and also being on them too long as it is, and it's supposed. Now I know here in Texas it's supposed to be a law against that. You do a mess with your phone, period. But we'll have to go to what he said. If that's what he did and that's what caused the accident, we'll have to go with the man's his explanation.
Yeah. I'm not going to even comment any further on it, Pops. I'm just baffled at the fact that it happened on July 14th and we just found out about it, a few days ago. That's just wild. Oh, not to mention he had a severe concussion as well. So I just want to throw that out there. So who knows how this could affect him coaching this season? We know how players can get affected by having concussions, things of the nature. So just something to keep an eye on, Pops.
Right.
Just something to keep an eye on. I'm just saying.
Right.
Just saying. And then the next thing, let's see here. Of course, y'all. And then before I go into anything else, let me read these comments real quick. So got a comment from Brandon saying Geno Smith is a poor man. Jameis Winston, man, relax, brother. You relax. I would even mention to say that Geno Smith is better than Jameis Winston because Jameis Winston and Pops, how hard it is for me to say that because you know what school he comes from. You know what college he comes from. But I mean, Jameis Winston was a walking interception. a walking interception. So anyway,
Florida State. Yeah, okay.
Pops, come on now. You have to say it out loud, but all right now. Um, now got another comment from Sydney. He's saying everyone knows you go to the Browns and the Jets for your career as a quarterback to die. My man, that's harsh, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And another comment from Brandon says, "Bet Shanahan had a woman in the car." LOL. Say, man, I'm not saying, but I'm saying, and we might have to continue this on the next show, Pops. Lord willing, next Wednesday, because there's some other things that I want to say about this. So we'll continue that. Because yeah, Shanahan, come on, man. Yeah, we're gonna leave it there. Yeah, I have my word. Next Wednesday, Lord willing, we're gonna continue this conversation because there's more here. I think we're gonna talk about this more next show. But y'all, of course, y'all know we gotta get to the bruh moment of the week, y'all. We gotta get to the bruh moment of the week. And y'all, really and truly, I had something special planned. I had something special planned um, for the bruh moment of the week. I mean, not well. The person that's gonna be on the bruh moment of the week for this week's show, I had something special planned that Pops you didn't even know anything about, and I'm refraining from doing it because of this, right? So no, Kyle Shanahan is not our bruh moment of the week. He is not. However, let me go and put it up without further ado. Who our bruh moment of the week is, y'all? Mr. Tony Romo. Mr. Tony Romo, I'm gonna need you to step into the stage, my man. So, y'all hadn't seen, Tony Romo was arrested on suspicion of operating while under the influence. So apparently he was in some type of, black Jeep or something like that, but he was under the influence. He refused to do a breathalyzer test because, his attorneys advised him not to. So yeah, as I said, what I had special planned for this gentleman here, I still may do it, but it may be some shows down the line. Because again, you know anything about what I had planned, and we'll talk about it at some point, depending on how this whole thing turns out. But yeah, Tony Romo, my man. Yeah. And this is in his hometown of Wisconsin, Pops. You know that's where he's from. So yeah, that happened there. That happened. And y'all, just the thing that told me that really made me say, bruh, is the fact that look at the mug shot there, y'all. Look at that. What is that? Y'all see that there on the right hand of the screen there? Like, what? Come on, man. Let's go through these comments real quick. Queen of Conversation saying, Lord, please don't let this be a bad sign for us Cowboys. I hope it ain't. I really hope it ain't. And then Sydney saying, I knew it was going to be Romo. I saw it this morning on the news. Yeah, man. Yeah. And then another comment from Queens of Conversation saying it should have been Dak so we can get somebody better. What? Hold on now. What you trying to say there? I don't know if I like that comment there. What are you trying to say? They got another comment from Queens of Conversation said he looked like Tiger Woods. LOL. Yo, I'm trying to tell you. Like, that's what made me do this, bro. Having be bro moment. When I saw that, I'm like, come on, man. Come on. That face is just wild. And then another comment from Brandon, Antonio Romo wilding out in the Jeep. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. But I mean, hey, again, Pops, I had something really cool planned for this gentleman. Because you know how I feel about Tony Romo, Pops. You know how I feel about him. But again, depending on what happens with this situation, we gonna see. You know what I mean? But hey, y'all, he's our bro moment of the week. And when we see something like this, Pops, it makes us say what? Bruh. Yeah, man. And then we got another comment from Brandon. Brandon is saying, them Skechers checks must have dried up. Man, come on. Relax, brother. Relax. You see, man, You always give me a few of them. You always be on one with a few of them, man. I love it though. I appreciate the comments, brother. Uh, but last but not least, before I end the show, y'all, special shout out to my man Texas Kings 88, celebrating a birthday tomorrow. His wife is actually celebrating a birthday today, which is why he's not on watching us today. But yo, Texas Kings 88, special shout out to you and your wife. Happy birthday to your wife today, and then happy birthday to you tomorrow, brother. Enjoy your special day. May God bless you to see more. Appreciate all your comments, Texas Kings 88, when you're on, brother. Miss you on the show today. But like I said, happy birthday to you and your wife, brother. Hope y'all having a blast out there tonight. But y'all, listen, that's gonna do it for us. We appreciate the comments, we appreciate the love, the support. Thank y'all for tuning in, y'all. And once again, as y'all know, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're on all the platforms you can think of, wherever you find your favorite podcast, which we're hopefully one of them. You can find us there, no doubt. But again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Um, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. And again, thank y'all for the love, support, all the comments. Thank y'all. But until next Wednesday, y'all, 6 p.m. Peace out.